Hello, hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here. Welcome to the Happy Empath. I am Trisha Dyka, and today's spiritual chat is one that I have not addressed or spoken to anybody about it, but we have our expert today, and we're going to be talking about making money our partner. And it's so important, I think, to delve into this because everybody's such, they're kind of concerned about money and what's going on, but there's so many things if you can connect to it. So welcome, Beth. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Please share a little bit about yourself, and I'm excited to delve right into this topic.
Oh, thank you so much for allowing me to speak on this topic. It's just such pivotal times in people's lives more than ever that this conversation gets to be had. So thank you. My name is Beth. I'm a financial educator, coach, author, humanitarian. I was in the financial industry and just recognized that the heart-centered, feminine, holistic approach was missing. And then just going through my own journey and healing my relationship with money is how I created the book, Make Money Your Partner, which is a working journal. And it allows people to tap into the internal conversation around money so that the external world around them when it comes to money and finances is working, with what they want to create in life.
Yeah, and I'm glad, thank you for joining us. I'm glad that we're talking about money because money sometimes can be considered very taboo. And don't talk about money, don't talk about how much you make. And then you see the reactions when people do talk about money or their issues with money or their difficulties or their trials and tribulations, if you will, with money. But if we think of money as energy instead of the piece of paper, I think we can actually start to change our perspective on it.
Absolutely we can. And I, in my growth as, with my relationship with money and being in the financial industry and just my own personal journey and spirituality, my personal opinion, I think there was a reason why became such a taboo topic, because it allowed certain people to up level in the financial wealth of generational wealth, and it allowed other people not to, unfortunately. So I think there was a certain reason as to why money became this thing that was a negative, right? And so if we can look at the way our systems are today and how we can really start restructuring some of our systems to be more conscious-based, more abundant-based, and coming from a very mindful, abundant conversation, our whole reality shifts. Or reality shifts. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's say we've got somebody with a tad, like they don't want to talk about money. They don't want to look at money. How could you even move them from that? Like, in comparison to your own story, were you somebody who was afraid of money and then learned to become more abundant?
Well, my story was I thought that you had to work really hard because, I was brought up in a single mother household. I watched my mom work, 2, 3 jobs at a time just to make ends meet for us kids. And so I equated having to work really hard. And so that's all I knew. So it was a very much this masculine energy when it came to anything that I was doing in my work or my businesses, until I really stepped into the feminine ways of being and introduced those into my business, that I realized that having both these energies playing together in my businesses is really where it flourished for me in my business and aligned me with my purpose, right? And what I am doing today. So that was really important. So, removing that, I can still work hard, but creating that balance. It's absolutely, you want to be in action, but you also want to have joy and play and creativity and all those beautiful things that the feminine energy is all about. So, when you're looking at somebody's story, or their belief around money, you want to look at where did it come from, right? I just explained to you my upbringing was a single mother household. And so looking at your 0 to 8 years old, how was your household like, around money? How was the conversation? Was there even conversations? We did not talk about money in my household at all. And if it was worry, stress. It was nothing exciting, right? So, and then we get to start reframing that, really healing that underlining belief, that in going to the foundation of where that belief is. And when we can really, truly heal from that and create a whole other paradigm in our relationship with money, and that's where the magic is.
Yeah, when we grew up, like my dad was always working. He, always never home, work hard. Like that was a big theme in our house too, is we must work hard. And then there was also the, shut the lights off. Money doesn't grow on trees, and things like that is the theme in our house. But I caught myself, and I actually got sick because I pushed in that energy of I've got to, that busyness of always being busy, of trying to be successful, of trying to get these things accomplished. Of, let me add one more thing because I need to add this one more thing, instead of connecting to that being in the flow and allowing it to happen instead of that constant push. So I'm glad you brought that feminine energy up in as well, because I think a lot of people don't realize that we have to combine the two, especially with money. Well, other things too as well.
Yeah, it's just the flow really, the flow in and of itself is the masculine and feminine energies. It really works in life in general. If you think of money as a relationship, as any other relationship, it's that alignment that really works, right, in our relationship. So really just looking at, again, the relationship that we have with money, with a business relationship, a partnership, romantic relationship, how are we being that's making that relationship so successful and thriving and flourishing? That's the same thing that we get to bring to our relationship with money, right? You're not going to be fearful or worried or stressed or envious or jealous, right? That's not going to make a really great relationship. So why would you want to bring that into your relationship with money, right? And then going back to, we were talking about, shaping our paradigm in our childhood around our upbringing around money. And I think the important thing is also to look at the empowering interpretation, right? Because there was always something that probably was working that really supported us with where we're at today. And so again, reframing that, I remember, because I grew up poor and, watched my mom work really hard, I then got this entrepreneurial spirit at a young age where I started wanting to create things and sell things and generate money. And so that, for me, was my way of looking at, okay, I enjoy entrepreneurship. And so also looking at the empowering interpretation and what really supported with where you're at today with that too. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I'm sure in this as well, there's got to be a big piece for mindset. So now you've got to almost start from scratch if you've never had a relationship with money. And I'm sure you got to bring in that mindset, as well as that flowing energy of peace and love. And it's so interesting that you say, have a relationship with money like you would, and please tell me if I understood you correctly, but as if you would like a friend, a lover, somebody that you want to hang out with. Because a lot of us will be like, nope, I don't want to know anything about money, when the reality is we need to look at that and really make friends with it in some way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because if we look at everything as energy, everything's at a frequency and a vibration. And if we're vibrating on a fearful base, we're not gonna be attracting, much abundance into our life. And I don't mean that just monetarily. Like, you could just look at opportunities are not going to show up. They're not going to flow to us if we're at a low energetic vibration. The right people aren't going to show up. Relationships, we see a difference, right? We see a difference on how, when we're raising our vibration to certain in certain ways of our life, what shows up and what doesn't, right? So same thing. So if we're not looking at our bank accounts, if we're ignoring it, if we're like fearful of using that card in case it doesn't get approved, or right, and you're at the grocery line or whatever, that energetic, that creates an attraction, right? So if we look at the law of attraction and the universal laws, like that energetic exchange is just going to keep creating that same energetic feeling.
Yeah.
So it's really reprogramming and restructuring, and it takes time. It's not like this overnight thing. It does take time, but with practice and anything, it becomes then natural.
I love that you said it takes time, because everyone expects a magic pill. It's like, you put on 20 pounds during COVID and I want that magic pill and I could lose that 1, 2, 3. But the reality of it is, eating right, exercising, doing things that are right for your body. And this is the same thing, is actually checking in the energy, seeing where you're at. And do you need to raise your vibration? Do you need to bring it up and be happier? And because like you say, there are other universal laws that are involved. You have the law of attraction, but people are like, oh, I just wish, and there it is. But there's a lot more to the law of attraction. So do you have any, like, let's say, reframe our money beliefs? What would you consider reframing money beliefs?
Well, it may you just might be just noticing what you're thinking throughout the day. If you're noticing that it's fear-based or lack-based, how can you shift that? So, going through daily exercises is really important, and getting in the habit of looking at your bank account on even a daily basis. That's okay. There's nothing wrong. Just check in. Just, hey, money, how you doing? Just checking in with the balance and being connected to it, so exactly what's in there. Great, you're connected. That's going to start shifting your mindset, because you're in relationship with it, and being thankful for what's in there. It may not look like the bank account balance that you're really wanting right now, and you're thinking in your mind, gosh, I don't have enough. But if you keep saying that, then that's what's going to keep showing up. So really be, thankful and in gratitude. Gratitude's the number one thing that's going to support in raising the vibration. So that really supports in shifting the mindset, is being grateful for what you currently have, and trusting and knowing that more is going to come. As long as we're in action. Like you said, you can't just sit there and just be like, just like it's going to just pop on your doorstep. But you do need to be in action to follow up with all of those great mindsets and visualizations, and really, it's again reframing the mind to start really visualizing and being in the feeling and what it is that you want to create. One of the tricks that I teach my clients is creating like a little mini movie, and on that mini movie is just pictures, images, and your brain over time just picks that up, and have money on there, have money as an image on there. And you're just going to constantly be reprogramming your mindset.
Yeah, I like that. You're reprogramming your mindset, because like you said, if you're in a foul mood all the time and you're always woe is me, and that's what's going to continue showing up. And it's not just money, it's friends, it's issues that may pop up, it's stuff that you see. It's like you're training yourself to look at the negative aspect of everything, instead of, like when I wake up in the morning, I have this thing right in front of my bed that says, I choose to be happy. What am I grateful for today? Okay. And that's how I want to start my day. I want to start my day thinking of positive things, looking for the magic in the world, looking for, positive expectations of how I see the world, instead of the world being this shitty place that so many people have come to expect. So when you start, I think, changing it, as soon as you do, your mind starts looking for these positive aspects. They start looking for all of these things, and it'll show you these things are actually true and out there, instead of, like I said, that negative all the time. So I mean, there are days, and please share with me what you do, but there are days when you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed and your day just is like, holy crap, I can't get out of my own way. Now, for me personally, I don't think one day or 1 hour of being in a bad mood or a bad thought is going to change the vibration. However, you want to allow yourself to be in it, but at the same time, start to shift it as well.
Yeah. And, you know, our world is in a very interesting place right now. And I'm not oblivious to that. I'm fully aware of what's happening. Yet I choose to create the reality that I want to choose for myself, because in the bigger picture, I have goals and aspirations and visions for myself. And I can't allow these, you know, obstacles that are coming in life is lifing, right? And so it's how I choose to move about my day, and is it aligned with what I'm up to? And so, you know, I'm human. Of course, I'm not always happy and chipper. Sometimes I wake up and my energy is a little funky, you know, and so I just have to honor my feelings, you know, because they're there for a reason, and that's okay, you know. And so it's just honoring my feelings and for where I'm at, and then just going back to the genuine state that we're really, you know, to be in, which is abundant and joyful and loving. And that's our natural state. And so I'm constantly reminding myself of my goals and my visions and my dreams. And so anything that really comes in my way, it's just a little diversion, you know, because I'm just so clear on what it is that I want to create in my life. And that's what's so great about my book, Make Money Your Partner. It supports in the financial healing and that conversation, but also supports somebody in their journey and what it is that they want to create in their life. And so, you know, when things get off kilter, because at the end of the day, yes, this is talking about having a relationship with money, and we all want to thrive to some particular level when it comes to money. And again, everybody's goal is different, right? Some may want more money than the next person, but really it's, if you were at zero, how would you be? Would you still be joyful? Would you still be loving? Would you still feel abundant? Because it's really the feeling that we're striving for. Because a lot of people are spending money on things to fill a void, right? They're buying all these material things that are really filling a void, when, you know what? You create the reality that you want to create. You create how much money that you want to create for the life that you want to create. And that's going to be a different goal than somebody else's. But at the end of the day, if let's say just money was gone for you, can you truly say that you're happy and you can trust that you'll be taken care of in this big world? You know, it's really the feeling of happiness and fulfillment that we're all striving for. And can you get there, you know, without buying stuff?
That's a great question. Can you, if you're at zero, can you still find that love and abundance and that trust? And I think, and even in my own experience, you know, trust was kind of hard to come by, but it does take practice. It does take, I think, belief in yourself, belief in the universe, and in a larger power that somebody actually has your back. And once you have that, I do believe you could still be joyful. I mean, you know, there are so many things that have happened, I'm sure, to everybody that has put us in, if you will, the dark night of the soul, or that pivotal point in your life where it is, you need to make some serious moves, some serious changes. And can you love yourself fully and completely from that point forward? And that's, you know, and I believe it happens more than once in our lives too. You know, definitely for me, it's been a good three of them, I think, where things pivoted tremendously for me. And it comes back to, you know, for me, it's important to laugh every day. It's important to have fun every day. And I think a lot of people forget that piece. They forget to have fun. And that, I think, works with the energy of money. It works with the energy of a lot of things, but it really does work with the energy of money.
Oh, it absolutely does. You're so right on that. It works with everything, right? It makes life so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And the people around us want to hang out with us when we're fun, right? And yeah, so the energy around money, it absolutely is going to be attracted to fun and play and what you're doing with the money. Are you spending it on things that are bringing value? That's another thing, just reminding me of how you're speaking on, fun, but also what am I spending my money on? Does it bring me value, a want versus a need? And, is it aligned with my goals? Just really looking at those, because that's all energy. You're doing an exchange. So when I'm buying something, I'm receiving an energetic exchange with that. And so I get to look at, is it aligned with what I'm up to? Is it going to bring me value? Or is it just something that I want that's probably going to bring me some, 5-minute joy? I don't know, but it really, like I saying, like the joy and the fun is what I guess what I'm trying to say is, again, going back to that fulfillment of the material thing, and just knowing that you have that inner joy and that inner fun and that inner peace and that inner love, and that you're not needing to go out to buy things to fulfill that. If you are going out to buy things, does it bring you value? Does it bring you joy? Is it going to be aligned with all the things that you're up to?
I like those questions because, I've never thought of that when I've gone out shopping. It's like, oh, I really want this. I really like this. But you're right, because I have caught myself where I bought something and I brought it home and I've used it for a little while, or I wore it for a little while. And I'm like, what possessed me to buy this? What was I thinking? Like, so that's an interesting question. And I've noticed that as I purchase things now, including food, it's about the experience. Like when I go out to go food shopping sometimes and I want to try this new recipe, I'm excited to buy the ingredients. I'm excited to see what that end result is. So I've almost, if you will, changed my perspective a little bit to the experience too that it's going to bring me.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's not about depriving ourselves, right? But because we're such a consumer-driven country, it's everything's being thrown at us. But really looking at what is the experience it's bringing us, those sorts of things. Because yeah, I mean, I love that you bring up food and this sort of thing, because that's really, I mean, we cook with love, right? When we're cooking, there's so much, it's almost meditative when we're cooking, and especially when we can cook for others, and the joy it brings, and the smiles that it brings on other people. And so you're right. I love that. It is about the experiences as well. Yeah. Which is, that's your value, right? That's the value. It's in the experience.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm going to be more aware now, when I buy things and look at things to see where it sits within me. But for me, food is so important because I've had a lot of issues with food, and a lot of foods that I used to eat, I can no longer eat. So I had to completely change. My husband and I had to completely change everything. So now it's about, let's try this, let's try that. It's an experience that we're looking for to create. So, and of course, all of that is done with money, with the energy of money. So thank you. I'm going to definitely try that a little bit more.
And and again, I love that you're bringing up food, because, I think a lot of times we're in money situations and we feel like we have to cut our costs. And a lot of times we get really frugal on the foods that we eat. And that's something, again, looking at bringing you value, being willing to spend a little bit more, because in the long run, you're really spending less, because you're taking care of your body. You're probably not going to need to be taking those medications that you're taking, right? And when I say you, I'm speaking generally, right? And so it's like you won't have to go to the doctors as much, right? You're right, because you're taking care of yourself. So yeah, these things may cost a little bit more, but man, the value in the long term, what they're doing for us, even thinking about the products that we're putting on our face and on our skin and on our hair, all kinds of things, right? Yeah. So it's not about being frugal and, putting things on a tight budget, but again, making sure that what it is that I'm spending, is it going to be good for me, right? Yeah. So the food is important.
Yeah. That's interesting. So, I mean, there is, I guess there's so much to it. It's about, I guess, creating that relationship. If there is none, for somebody, if there is none, what is the first steps to creating something?
Yeah, that's great. So first, it's identifying, your relationship on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, greatest relationship. What rate it, and then and then see what it is that's in the way. So if it's a 7, what's in the way from it being a 10? And, getting in touch with what that is, for you. Everybody is going to be different. And so what feels true for you? Identifying your limiting beliefs around money, honing in on that belief and where it came from and where it's rooted from on your childhood from 0 to 8, your upbringing and your relationship with money. It's really important to get to the foundation and the roots, because then, the fruits can then, be really coming out of that tree really real when we can take care of the roots, right? And so we want to identify where that's coming from. And once you can really identify that, that's really where the healing is going to start beginning. And then so, in creating that relationship with money, set some goals for yourself. Set, let's say, 3 goals that you want to accomplish in your relationship with money in the next 30 days. Start small. Again, this is all a process, and it takes time because, again, we're reprogramming. And identify those 3 goals that you want to create in your relationship with money, whether that's paying off debt, maybe starting a savings, maybe a financial plan, a vacation, starting that new business you want to do, whatever that might look like. And then why do you want to do that? Because when we can put a why to something, it makes that goal so much more exciting, right? You're going to have now fun around money. It's going to be inspiring. It's going to be empowering. So identify why it is that you want to do what it is that you want to do in those areas and those goals around money. And those are some ways that definitely somebody can start shifting.
Yeah, those are
relationship with money.
Quick and easy too. It's not that it's a lot of time. It's not a lot of energy. I think it's also paying attention to the thoughts in our head. And maybe if somebody does not have any good rituals, maybe now is the time to implement something so that you can have that connection. And I think it all starts within us, connecting to that deep place within us to really see what's going on, Thank you so much for joining us today. Please share where people can reach you at. And if you have one last minute tip, please.
Oh, you know what? 2020, it's been a very interesting year for a lot of us. And I just say, you know what? Hit the reset button. Hit the reset button for yourself for 2021. Forgive whatever you need to. Forgiveness is huge. Forgive yourself. Forgive anything that you need to do to start a fresh new year. Whether you start a fresh new year on the actual new year in January, you start fresh new year on your birthday. But just hit the reset button and forgive yourself. Forgive anybody that you need to forgive, and really get crystal clear on what it is that you want to create in your life, and know that you deserve it, and know that you can create it. It'll take some work, and be patient, and give yourself some grace, but you can absolutely get there. Absolutely get there. So make 2020, make this new year an amazing new year.
Yeah. And I like that reset. And you are so right. Forgiveness is, maybe it's not forgiving, it's just forgiving yourself right now. I think that's really big, is just forgiving yourself for whatever infractions you feel that you may have happened, or mistakes that you want to beat yourself up for. Or maybe it's that reset is to let it all go right now.
Right. Absolutely.
So
we could do that moment by moment, right? We could do that anytime. You don't have to wait for January.
No. Let's do it
You
today.
do that every single moment, right? You may not be like, you know what, that wasn't a really smart move on my part. Maybe, I'm going to hit the reset button. Let me do something different, right? You could do that any moment throughout your day. Absolutely.
I like that reset.
Yeah.
So share with people how they can reach you and about your book.
Yes, absolutely. So my website is BethLDana.com. My Instagram is the same, BethLDana.com. My book is on my website, so folks can check out the book there. They can order it. Book 2 is with the publisher. It's going to be released here in the next week or so. I have a financial journal planner that's coming out here in the next couple weeks. Book 3 will be coming out first quarter of 2021. So I'm excited for really supporting people in shifting their relationship with money. It's my mission and my goal to support over 1 million people achieve financial consciousness and abundance. So here we go.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us today. And everybody, have a great day. And as always, take whatever resonates with you, implement it, tweak it, make it your own. And you can always reach Beth or myself. If you want, you can post questions below. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. And for those of you who are celebrating the holidays, may you have a lovely holiday season.